Yo, what's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earth Smack, the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix Media Channel and another edition of Saturday Morning Comics. Now, this is a little bit behind the scenes. Now, this show has been recorded Tuesday night. I am taking a trip to Michigan to see my fiance and my family and hang out with them for Thanksgiving. But I did tell you last week, though. I'm not gonna deprive you of Saturday morning comics. We still gonna talk Saturday morning comics. So I will give you a little bit of essay that yes, pre-recorded shows for this week for Saturday morning comics and next week as well. So but you would not be without Saturday morning comics. You would not be without some comic book news and some comic book discussions. And yes, I will be actively looking at the comments. All right, so you can ask questions for what's going on. I might not answer right away, but I'm definitely in the vicinity and watching the show, see if you guys what questions you guys have, and more than happy to answer you guys' questions. This week, if you haven't checked out the channel yet, if you've been busy this week, because I understand it is Thanksgiving week, Black Friday, and all that stuff in between. I dropped two videos. I dropped Uncanny X-Men. I'm sorry, not Uncanny X-Men. Unbreakable X-Men. Unbreakable X-Men #2 by Gail Simone. And I also covered Nova Centurion issue #1. I really enjoyed covering both of those this week, and you can tell in the videos that I posted. So if you haven't checked out those videos, go ahead and check out those videos, right? And if you are a newcomer to Saturday morning comics, you already know what to do. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, and that notification bell, and make sure you select all when that comes to that notification bell, because sometimes when we hit that notification bell on other people's channels and stuff like that, we don't hit that all. So we're like, what? Wait a minute. Why are we not getting these videos? Because we haven't selected all. I found that out on my own because there's other channels that I do follow as well and support. And I didn't realize that I wasn't getting these notifications, and it dropped like 5-6 videos. And I'm like, man, whoa, let me go back and adjust some things. So there's a drop down box, and you select all. So everything that you see, whether it's live or recorded, you will get notified on your phone, and we'll go from there. So we got a good show for you guys today, man. And we're going to have some discussions about DC Comics, because this week they have been dominating when it comes to anticipated comics, according to Bleeding Cool News. And also, according to comicbook.com, there are 5 unmissable Marvel 2026 releases that you might want to be on the lookout for. And these are the ones that's outside of the ones I have discussed in the past weeks. Now, as far as my comic book haul, because I didn't have a chance to go by my LCS this week, though. But there's still a haul, though. There's still a haul I have yet to show you guys. And this is all Punisher, because I was in my Punisher bag ever since that red band. And I was like, you know what? Let me check out some Punisher. You know what I mean? So this will tell you what I got right here. So, got this bad boy right here. Love this cover, though. Love this cover. Badass cover right here. Old 90s action stuff. And the introduction of Microchip. Frank Castle's best friend, the one that helps him out with missions and stuff. So I did get my hands on that. And then I get a 50th issue, which looks super badass. The 50th issue of the Punisher as well. So definitely got those. So 3 Punisher comics. And from the standpoint of, I'm so mad at myself because I wanted to get a physical copy of Nova Centurion, and hopefully there is still some copies of Nova Centurion, because I had so much fun reading that book, to the point where I'm going back to read Annihilation War again. You know what I mean? And going back to reading Nova's first solo run after the Annihilation War, man. So now to our Patreon subscribers, I'm definitely going to give you a little bit of a nugget. At some point in time, like in the coming days. So I'm gonna start doing some good things for y'all guys. Doing some good things. I'm trying not to sneeze. So anyhow, I hope you guys get y'all fill for Thanksgiving. I hope you guys got y'all black Every time. So here's the thing, which total transparent. Here's the thing. Anytime I get on the mic, right, there's a point in time when I talk that my nose start to itch, right? And I was like, man, I got to get this sneeze out. Every single time, right? And it always happens within like 4 or 5 minutes in the show. You might say, you know what? Why don't you just like talk randomly before the show starts? It never works. I have tried that. Never works. It always happens when I do a live show. I don't know if it's like a good luck thing. I don't know. Maybe I consider it good luck. I consider it good luck. So anyway, yeah, I'm reading Annihilation War, and I'm starting to read like the Nova solo run. So I'm gonna catch it up on some Nova. Richard Rider is a lot of people's favorite Nova, especially with the World Mind and what's going on with that. I don't want to jump into too much of a detail because some of you guys haven't read Nova Centurion #1, but I highly encourage you guys to go out there and to my channel and watch that video and Unbreakable X-Men #2 because it's getting deeper into the lore, man. It's getting deeper, getting in the weeds, man. And I did have some theories. I did have a theory at the end of that video of Unbreakable X-Men, and hopefully that theory ends up coming true. So, but anyhow, we're going to get into some DC, right? So DC dominates this week when it comes to releases. And I've been saying this. I've been saying this for a hot minute, y'all. I've been saying this for a hot minute that DC has been in their bag in the past year, 2 years, whatever the case may be. Ever since Absolute Power, they've been in their bag, man. And that's honestly and truly, I can't say that's my starting point. I can never say that's my starting point. I can say my jumping back into DC Comics or whatever the case may be started again with Absolute Power. And then it just branched out, you know, from Justice League Unlimited. Then it went to the Absolute Universe, and that's been a gem in itself. But according to Bleeding Cool, it says comic book website League of Comic Book Geeks has 100,000 subscriber base with over 100 retailers using their services, managing pools, subscriptions for their customers. Now, the thing Comixology you did when they first started. Now, and the website records how many readers have pulled certain titles, whether connected to the retailer or not. And right now, this is the top 20 pull list for this past Wednesday. Now, as of reporting, Absolute Batman #14, releasing this coming week, has 41,283 pulls, making it the most popular book of the week. Now, a pull does not equal a sale, just recognizing interest and maybe for a comic store, digital, or often pirate reading. Now, the listing is also not inclusive of the variant covers, as each cover has its own pull number. However, it is a valid list that recognizes active interest in certain titles in the direct comic book market, and the top 10 is all DC. All of it. Absolute at the top, Detective Comics beating DC KO, while Marvel's Thor, Black Cat, Daredevil / Punisher, and Infernal Hulk make it into the top 20 alongside Image titles Geiger, Department of Truth, Skinbreaker, and Gunslinger Spawn. Now, there is not a single X-Men title in the top 20. The highest is Undeadpool #2 at number 24. Now I'm gonna tell you, before we get into this list, I gotta say, this honestly, shout out to the author of this article, because pull does not mean sales, because yes, you can have pull lists, right? And you may not go that Wednesday and pick up your comics. The pull is you got it held for you until you're ready to come and get it. Now, obviously, they're not going to hold it forever and a day, right? But, you know, don't abuse that. I would highly encourage you not to abuse that. But, you know, the retailer takes that stuff off the shelf and it just holds it for you. And I know with my comic book retailer, they bag and board it for me. They bag and board it for me, and when I'm ready to come get it, I'll come get it. I'll make those phone calls. I do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? So, from that standpoint, DC has been in their bag. Now, there's some DC comics, I'm like, I'm gonna jump back on it. I'm gonna hop back on it once the issues finish. I've definitely been reading Batman, the single Matt Fraction run of Batman. I'm covering on the channel, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. And just hold on. Matter of fact, before I go back into this, it said the X-Men titles is not in the top 20. just like I told you, that Age of Revelation is not super duper popular. It's really not. It's not super duper popular, and that's just a matter of opinion. However, my favorite book out of Age of Revelation is definitely Unbreakable X-Men and definitely Rogue Storm, because of Gail Simone and Mareva Ayodele. They have been in their bag, and it's like it's been connecting to the Storm solo series and Uncanny X-Men, and I love that. Like, those books, like, gonna stand the test of time. I'm telling you right now, they very good writing, connects everything the way it needs to be connected. It gets you emotionally invested into the issues, and even though if it's a very short run for Age of Revelation, I know it's gonna harken back to Uncanny X-Men and Storm once, you know, that run happens after Age of Revelation. You know, but what I'm saying is Age of Revelation in totality, you know, is not well received from what I understand. You know what I'm saying? Just by context clues and stuff like that. You know, like Amazing X-Men, Patriot X-Men. Yeah, those books are good. X-Vengers is actually pretty good too. And, you know, top three. Say it like that. And that's just me. Like, I love those 3 books, right? And I have said ad nauseum that, you know, as far as like the main story, like Amazing X-Men, you know, story Cyclops and all that other stuff, I'm not interested in that. And I think that resonates too with anybody else. Not that my voice like carries to everybody else. My voice don't speak for everybody else. But what I'm saying is, you know, you take notice though, right? Like in the top 20 in your pull list, X-Men is not one of them. You know what I'm saying? But you need that Unbreakable X-Men and Rogue Storm. I can tell you that. I can definitely tell you that. But here are the top 20 though. So number 1 is Absolute Batman, as stated, because that one-on-one with Bane is running it back with Bane. Now, I will admit I am a little behind because I've been distracted with some other comic books, some independent comics that I'm giving my time to. But I'm definitely gonna jump back on Absolute Batman. Obviously the DCKO event, I'm staying on top of that. The Absolute Batman Annual, which is surprising, very surprising though, that on the channel it didn't get that many views, because I feel like Absolute Annual was so the piss out. Like, if you was going to the comic book store the next day to get that annual and you ain't had it on your pull list, you was ass out, like straight up. You was ass out. So very surprising it didn't get that much traction for the Absolute Batman Annual, because that was some hotness, right? That Absolute Batman Annual was hotness. But I'm definitely going to catch up on Absolute Batman, start with number 12, 13, 14 to catch myself up. Absolute Wonder Woman, number 14, no surprise there. The Absolute Universe has been tearing it up, okay? Tearing it up. And what I mean by that is the Absolute Universe is kind of like the equivalent of the Ultimate Universe for Marvel, but I mean, really good stuff. Detective Comics, number 1103. Definitely haven't been reading the Detective Comics. DCKO number 2, definitely interested in DCKO event. What will happen, you know, in the aftermath. I'm trying not to get through spoilers, because you know when you go to the LCS, you get the newsletter books that gives you books that's coming out in the future, like in January, February, and it kind of gives you a synopsis on what's going on. And low key, it spoils some things for you. It does spoil some things for you. So I'm trying to stay away from that. I just want to be shocked and surprised, you know what I mean, and have that shock and awe and share it with you guys. The next one is Superman number 32, Justice League Unlimited number 13, obviously with Mr. Terrific leading the charge because everybody else is in the DCKO event. The Flash number 27, Green Arrow number 30, Green Lantern number 29, and Immortal Legend Batman number 4, which is crazy. Now, when I mean Immortal Legend Batman, let's see. Hopefully it takes me there. Yeah. Immortal Legend Batman, because I did the first issue for this right here, and it's right now it's on issue number 4 with 40 pages. So basically, if Power Rangers and Batman had a baby, that's basically what it is. That's basically what that is. If you want more videos on Immortal Legends Batman, you let me know. I didn't want to oversaturate the channel with like Batman stuff, because I did Absolute Batman and I'm done Matt Fractions Batman. I'm like, let me dial it back a little bit, because there's other titles that need some love. The next one is Geiger. Have not read Geiger. Heard great things about Geiger. but have not read it. The Mortal Thor is at issue number 4. Number 13 is Batman Green Arrow / The Question Arcadia number 1. Now that one I may be interested in. Oh man, look at that artwork, yo. Look at that artwork. That's that hot. That's that hotness right there. Okay. It says from the King Huss of Hub City, Vic Sage, the Question goes deep undercover on the trail of a human trafficking operation in the frozen Arctic. Now, Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow, pushed out of his own company, C-Suite, must get his crumbling life back together. But what is Queen Industries' involvement with the mysterious project dubbed Arcadia? Spurred on by the Question, Green Arrow joins the hunt for answers, but one obstacle stands in the way of their investigation: the Batman. Writer-artist Gabriel Hardman comes to DC Black Label with a hard-boiled modern twist on the DC social thrillers of the 1980s, updating this opinionated trio of lone wolf vigilantes for the era of open-class warfare and ecological collapse. Yo, I might have to get that. Like, yo, like, I might have to get that. I might have.
Yeah, you know what's amazing about this record?
Yeah, I might have to get that. I might have to cover that. Like when it comes to like hard boiled type of stories, and for a Question, Batman and Green Arrow together, and it sets it back to the 80s. And this cover is great, man. Look at this cover, man. This cover is nice. I already know there's gonna be a trade at some point. That's just me by guesstimating. This looks good. I'm actually, yeah, I might have to get that. You know, while I'm in Michigan, I might need to go by the comic book store. You know, and I might have to knock that out. Infernal Hulk number 1, The Department of Truth number 34, Black Cat number 4, Skinbreaker number 3, Harley Quinn number 56, Daredevil, Punisher, The Devil's Trigger. Now, this is the one I've actually been interested in. So this is another book that I'm gonna have to get while I'm out and about, you know, in Detroit. So it says Daredevil and the Punisher, 2 of Marvel's mightiest with one of the most celebrated and storied rivalries in comics, find themselves at odds not only with each other, but with New York's criminal element once again. Now, writer Jimmy Paul Miani revisits the world that was as Frank Castle is pitted against the Ganucci crime family for their most violent and visceral confrontation yet. As their conflict threatens to tear Hell's Kitchen apart, it'll fall to Daredevil to contain the chaos. Yeah. Cover date January 2026. Final order is October 20th. Yeah, this, man. Okay, and Gunslinger Spawn. You know what's funny about Gunslinger Spawn is that I did try reading it. I just couldn't get into it because I do like a good gunslinger. And I'm not saying it's a bad title. It's just that I couldn't like get with it. You know what I mean? And I do feel like, you know, Spawn has had like serious continuity, like no revamps, like no reboots or none of that other stuff. It just stayed the course. And obviously you got medieval Spawn, you got gunslinger Spawn. So I'm like, how far can you really take this? You know what I mean? Like, how far can you really take this? And that's no slight, but obviously we're thinking about the live action movie that we was going to see. Like, look, my thing is this about Spawn. If we're not getting a live action movie, we can at least get another season or a brand new animated series, and you could put it on HBO. You can kill it. You could kill the game. New animation studio, you can use maybe Studio Trigger or somebody like that, just to tell like old stories from the 90s going all the way up, and, you know, just major events, and just keep it moving. Like, you can easily do that. So I jumped off the Spawn train. The thing that stood up to me out of this top 20, though, outside of Absolute Universe, is Batman Green Arrow and the Question Arcadia. Like that really stood out to me. And I know it's sitting at number 13, but yeah, I really do like that. I really do like that. That gets me intrigued. That is very intriguing. Very intriguing. But like I said, like DC, like ever since the Absolute Power event, and you move over to Justice League Unlimited, and then you move over to the Absolute Universe, and they were dropping little nuggets in Justice League Unlimited with the Parademons and everything else in between, and Superman with Time Trapper, and like it really was planting the seeds for another big event. And now we at the big event of DCKO, and even then, that is not the end of the big events, because after DCKO, there's another event. We don't know the name of it yet, but there's another event that's going to transpire later on down the line. So we don't know. My pick still is Big Barda. That is my pick still. Hopefully in DCKO number 2, I don't get disappointed and Barda is eliminated. But that is my pick. Barda is my pick. I mean, for me, it makes sense. It makes sense. Now, I know Plastic Man. Plastic Man is OP as all get out. Okay? A lot of people some people that don't know give Plastic Man like some flack or whatever the case may be, because yeah, he's like a jokey kind of character. He's always, having fun, going, all this other stuff. But nah, this man is OP. This man is OP. This man is definitely OP. Now, before we jump into anything else, we're definitely gonna jump into some Absolute Batman, and I know we're gonna jump into some 5 Unmissable 2026 Marvel Comics that's supposed to come out. But it says we got a preview of Absolute Batman number 14 by Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta. And below, running through the series so far, before seeing a Venom-infused Absolute Batman go up against Absolute Bane, though frustratingly, the preview didn't show any of the battle. Well, you know that Bleeding Cool likes to go beyond the preview when we can. Now, okay, so I'm gonna skip across because we don't want to spoil it, but yeah, I do like that. I do like that. There's some good stuff here. There's some good stuff here. Can't wait for that thing to drop. So Batman and Catwoman versus Bane. Now, remember, this is the Absolute Universe, man. There gotta be some struggle here. So hopefully, first of all, I'm worried about Catwoman. Let's put that out there. Let's keep this thing a beam. I'm worried about Catwoman, okay? And how dark and bleak the Absolute Universe is. I'm a little concerned. Like, yeah, he may defeat Bane, but to what extent? Like, is anybody, is Alfred going to kick the bucket? Or if anybody worth their salt is going to kick the bucket, you know what I mean? Like somebody significant. You know what I'm saying? So Bane has been nightmare fuel for Batman for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? What he did to Bruce along the way. And it says round 2, but I mean, come on, man. Like, I feel like it's round 4 or 5. Because anytime he tried to escape Bane, he got his ass whipped and got tortured even further. You know what I mean? And then it got infused with Venom. And then he finally escaped thanks to Wayland. But, I can't count that as round 2, man. This might be, round 4 or 5, 6 maybe, because he tried to escape quite a few times. So the next thing we are going to talk about is the 5 Unmissable 2026 Marvel Comics that is supposed to come out. So this is outside of the realm of the things I have already discussed before. So we got to get in it. So it's according to comicbook.com by Justin Else. As comic book fans, it's always fun to take a peek and see what publishers like Marvel Comics have in store for the coming months. Now, thanks to the solicitations, Marvel generally prepares for comic shop owners. Fans everywhere get a small taste of stories that won't hit the shelves for another 3 months. While the solicitations only provide broad details and a couple of covers, it's enough to spark discussions among readers everywhere. And the latest batch of solicitations has more than a few goodies set for 2026. Now, it says Thanksgiving may be around the corner. For us, it's already done past, but Marvel Comics is already preparing for Valentine's Day with its recent February solicitations. It's a big month for the House of Ideas, with Ultimate Endgame bringing the Ultimate imprint to a close and the groundwork for Armageddon being laid out. Not to mention, this month we will see a lot of exciting debut issues of new miniseries and ongoing titles. Read on to discover 5 titles from Marvel Comics that you are certainly not going to want to miss for next Friday, February. So number 5, Mark Spector, Moon Knight, number 1. Now, it says since Jed MacKay has been guiding light for the Moon Knight's beloved new era, and that era is going on strong with the brand new direction on the street level hero, MacKay reunites with the frequent collaborator of Dev Malia Promenick for Mark Spector Moon Knight number 1. Admittedly, this is more of a relaunch than a complete overhaul for Moon Knight, but knowing MacKay will continue the amazing work he's done with Spector in the past several years is nice to see. Now, hopefully, with this being MacKay's 4th Moon Knight series, he'll have some big surprises in store for fans. Now, listen, Jed MacKay's run of Moon Knight has been very good. Has been very, very good. And considering the fact this man is getting a 4th run of Moon Knight, clearly he is doing something right. Clearly the money is being made. Like, that just is what it is. I mean, obviously he's on Adjective List X-Men. That's what he's on. And correct me if I'm wrong. Let's see here. I gotta double check. And I want to say Nova Centurion is also. This man has been definitely in his bag, though. Definitely been in his bag. And I gotta reconfirm because I don't want to say the wrong thing here. Yes, Jed MacKay is on Nova Centurion as well. Very good writing from that standpoint. So you on your 4th Moon Knight series, Adjective List X-Men, Nova Centurion. Hey, I ain't mad at it. Usually when a writer get this many like opportunities like this, yeah, Marvel been making some money off this. Moon Knight's been looking good. It's been good. It's been cooking. Now, I mean, Moon Knight is not like a front runner character like, Spider-Man, X-Men, stuff like that. But Moon Knight definitely been holding his own. Like, Jed MacKay's level of storytelling is great. Now, you can go on Marvel Unlimited. You can go on Comixology to start Jed MacKay's run of Moon Knight and just work your way through there. Keep on working through there. The next one is Godzilla Infinity Roar number 1. And it says it was only days ago that the King of the Monsters Reign of Terror came to an end in Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. But the story isn't over yet, as Godzilla Infinity Roar number 1 by Jerry Duggan, Javier Garron, and I.G. Guara picks up where the previous miniseries left off, with Godzilla being weaponized by Null, the goddess symbiotes. This new series promises to be even more destructive, as Godzilla going after the cosmic side of the Marvel Universe. And truth be told, I have no idea how they're going to stop him this time. So, Godzilla being weaponized by Null. As much as I love Godzilla, I don't think I'm gonna get this book. I mean, there's Starship Godzilla, which I've been thoroughly enjoying, and there's other Godzilla titles that's out there, and I mean, they maxing Godzilla out. They are maxing him out. I'm gonna probably skip out on this. Not to say that this book's going to be bad, and it won't be. I promise you, it probably won't be. But I don't want to be burned out. I feel like I'm getting close to being burned out with Godzilla interacting with other characters and stuff like that. But the next one up is Predator Bloodshed number 1. Now, this one's getting dangerously close to getting there, too, because, you had Predator versus Spider-Man, Predator versus Black Panther, Predator kills the Marvel Universe. I mean, it's definitely been movie marketing. It is what it is. So it said, with the properties of the 20th Century Studios being owned by Disney and Marvel Comics, has been able to make a swath of new Predator comics. While the publisher has been going hard on crossovers with Spider-Man and Black Panther, Predator Bloodshed is a new story that keeps the attention on the series' iconic alien. Jordan Morris and Roland Boschi are teaming up for Predator Bloodshed number 1 that sees Earth's greatest fighters compete in a tournament against an honest-to-God predator. It's a simple premise, but one that promises all the violence and carnage one expects from this franchise. I might can get next to this. It is what it is. I think about signing up for that. I might sign up for this and give this thing a read. Now, I'm going to read the first issue and see if it grabs me. It's like, when it comes to comics, I treat it like anime. You know what I'm saying? But some anime requires like 3 or 4 episodes to actually like make a decision. But the first issue is always it for me. So if I can't get through if I can read the first issue, I'm like, you know what? I can follow this for the rest. I can't wait to see what happens in the next issue. Then I'm gonna put that on my pull list, on the way. And if it doesn't grab me that first issue, then that's gonna be a one and done. The next one up is Daredevil #1, which I'm actually excited about this because I can definitely jump back into this. It says Daredevil been out the game since his ongoing series ended back in September, but with the new season of Daredevil Born Again due early next year, marketing, Marvel Comics isn't going to leave the man without fear in the cold. Now, Stephanie Phillips and Lee Garbett kick off a new chapter for Matt Murdock with Daredevil #1, which is going to see his hero go from lawyer to law educator. But don't think there won't be action, because this new series will also see Daredevil hounded by a new villain who's almost guaranteed to complicate Matt's life. I'm gonna dig it. I'm gonna see what, again, it's like one of those things. #1, to see if I can sink my teeth into it. If I'm thoroughly invested in that, then I'm gonna put it on my pull list. And the next one is Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon. I don't know how this flew past me, but it definitely flew past me. And it says 2026 is going to be a big year for Marvel Comics, especially with the mysterious Armageddon event that poised to bring huge changes. But before Chip Zdarsky embarks on that event, he's going to prep fans with a prelude that begins with Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon #1. Zdarsky and Luca Maresca's miniseries follow Logan as he visits his past with Weapon X, only to discover its methods are still in practice. Now, while there's still a lot of mystery surrounding Armageddon, the Marvel event of the year starts with this comic. Okay. I love events, right? I do like events. Now, events are always cool. But I feel like with the Age of Revelation event, not saying people saying something bad about it, right? But I think where Uncanny X-Men got its footing and Adjectiveless X-Men was getting its footing and, working its way around, and the X-Manhunt event wasn't super well received. You go from that to Age of Revelation, and then you're going to have an Armageddon event. They got to hit this out the park. You know what I'm saying? They got to hit this out the park. Like a home run. You know what I'm saying? A home run. Like, we talk about like DC KO event, like that type of levels. You catch what I'm saying? I mean, competition creates cash. And I know it says controversy creates cash, but competition creates cash. Because if one comic book company is doing this right here, and you got another comic book company doing this right here, obviously you as a comic book company want to reach those levels. But notice in that 5, there are at least 2 of those are from marketing standards. Like, okay, they got a new Daredevil coming out, so we're going to need a comic. Okay. I'm never a proponent of that, because I don't want comics to follow a series, you know what I'm saying? Or have that same type of vibe as the series, because even though we are getting comic book adaptations on television as a TV series and people are getting invested in it and loving it, whether they never read a comic book in their life or not, comic books are comic books, because sometimes comic books got to get gritty. Sometimes comic books got to get into the nooks and crannies of things where some TV series or movies don't have time to do. And I hope that Marvel is giving grace to these writers to fully express themselves with these characters and not trying to follow a formula created by Disney. Comics should dictate what's going on with series, not the series dictate what's going on in the comics. You know what I'm saying? So comics set the precedent. If it wasn't for comic books or anything of that nature, we wouldn't have TV series, we wouldn't have movies. anything. So, and I get you trying to get another side of an audience, right? You know, you're trying to get this side to say, hey, I'm gonna go to the comic book store and pick some stuff up, because yes, there's been an uptick in buying comics, right? So when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, and there's a good chunk of people like, yo, this a Marvel property? Where is Guardians of the Galaxy? It's been around for a long time. It's been around for a while. And then they started picking up Guardians of the Galaxy comics. Then you started getting a Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon series, right? Because they're trying to build off that marketing, which is smart, right? And it brought more eyes to like a series. Like, shout out to James Gunn, because of James Gunn, like lesser known heroes and villains or whatever the case may be are up in the limelight now. And so now people know who Star-Lord is. Now people know who Gamora is, and Drax the Destroyer, and Rocket, and Groot. And, you know, they know who they are. Nebula. Now, oh snap, there's a Nova out here? Who's a Nihilus? you know what I mean? So that part I do understand, but I don't want it to be leaning more to this than this, because comic books is the root. You know what I'm saying? Don't cut the root. Don't cut the root. You cut that root, then everything else just falls to crap. And I think independent comics follows suit with that, and I think DC Comics to a certain extent does that. Now I know Marvel is in the business of making money, and they are in conjunction with Disney. I get that, but don't lose yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself. So that is a show for you guys today, man. Typically we go for like 45 minutes, for an hour, or whatever the case may be. But, you know, total transparency, I still got to pack some more stuff to get ready on this trip, on this flight to hang out for Thanksgiving. And obviously, I hope you guys have an awesome Thanksgiving. I hope you got all your fill, and I hope you went to your LCS, man, for your Black Friday sales, because I can guarantee you there's some Black Friday sales for some comics, and you might want to hop on the good foot and get on that, man. Go ahead and get all the comics that you need, all of them. Go and get all the comics that you need. Now, I had to look back at the top 20 comics on the pull list. Now, I noticed that it says covers like January 2026. So that, like, some of these comics may not come out on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So some of these comics may not come out on Wednesday, especially the one I'm looking at. So I had to correct myself on that one. But I hope you guys have an awesome holiday. Y'all be safe out there. Hang out with your families, watch some football, eat some turkey, some macaroni. That's my thing. Macaroni. If macaroni ain't there, I don't want it. I don't want to eat nothing else. I don't want to eat nothing else. So, holla at you guys next time, y'all. And yes. I'm still covering DCKO, and I will still be covering Mr. Terrific Year 1 issue number 6. So that's still on the way. Just got to wait till next week when I'm back in town so I can get back in the groove of things and hit that record button and give you some goodness. Give you some getting goodness. So until next time, y'all. Peace.